Hello, welcome to our video series on organizing content. In this one, I'm going to talk about how to edit modules and topics individually, and then how to use the bulk edit feature on both the module level and for individual topics within modules. It's a great time-saving feature, and I highly recommend you take advantage of it. Okay, so here we are in our sample course. The first thing I want to discuss is editing modules. Suppose you have a module, such as this one here called PowerPoints, and have decided to rename it. Sometimes it's a question, how do I do that? To do that, just click on the title here and then rename it. It's as simple as that. I just clicked enter and now that title has been saved. So it's really easy to edit the titles of modules. You can also add dates and restrictions to a module. A start date will limit the access to the module until that date, and an end date will eliminate access to the module, at least the contents of that module, after the end date, and you can create some release conditions as well. More commonly, however, you might include a description here of what you'll find in this module. So you might give a description for students. At any point in time, if you want to see how a student would view that discussions module, you can go to your name and view as a student. Go back into content and then discussions. And here you'll see the student will see the title. Weekly discussions can all be found here and that first discussion. I'll stop viewing as a student. Go back to content and that discussion module. In our essays module, we have a number of topics. And in particular, one of these topics has a name, a title that I don't particularly like. It's not a good descriptor. Students are not going to understand what that is supposed to be. So instead of naming it Essay 1, I'm going to click the caret menu and click Edit Properties in Place. And now I can edit the title of that file, which is a PDF document that I uploaded from my computer. And now I'm going to name it Sample Essay and just click Enter. I can refresh my browser and I'll see that the title has been updated to Sample Essay. That displays to the students in a more meaningful way the actual title of the essay. Some other things that I might want to edit, I can click the caret menu and click Edit Properties in Place. And here I can add dates and restrictions, including a start date, a due date, and an end date. I can add release conditions. I can add a description of what I want them to do and just click Update That. I can change whether it opens as an external resource for this link. I can change whether it is visible or hidden to my students. I can change whether it's going to be tracked in terms of completion status or whether it's not required, and so students will know that it's just an extra resource. And I can also right here delete the link. When I'm done, I can just click on the module title or refresh my browser to see those changes. And here I see the description has been added. So that's a really useful tool. Anytime you see a caret menu like this for a topic, you can click on Edit Properties in Place, and that's going to give you access to add things like a description or a due date. It's also going to give you access to change the title or change the visibility or conditions for the topic. Now, suppose you have a link and it's not going to the exact right place you want it to go. You can click this menu and also click Edit Link. And here you have the title, and say you need a new URL. Here this links to the main page, but really I needed it to go to a link within the page about general writing introductions. And so I need to go to this website, copy the new link, go back to PantherLearn, select the old link, delete it, and paste the new link, and then click Update. And so it still stays the same as Essay Help and Visit the Purdue OWL for writing help, but when you click on it, it takes you to that general writing page rather than the Purdue University homepage. You can also update a file by just clicking Change File. So rather than having to go and upload a new file and then delete the old file, you could just simply click Change File, find the appropriate file from your computer, and add it here. So you can drag and drop, and now the new file is there, and you can click Update. And so now the sample essay is a Word document instead of that PDF that it was before, but it's still in the same place, and I didn't have to delete anything. If the two files have the exact same title, you'll get a choice of whether you want to replace the file or whether you want to add a second file. To edit a video is a little different. If it's a completely different video that you want to add, in that case then you'll need to delete the old video and then add a new video. You can't just simply replace those embed codes here. It's a little different. One of the harder topics to edit are these web pages. If I were to simply click View Topic, there's no text box here where I could add some details or edit it. Instead, for a file that's called a web page here, in order to edit it, I need to click Edit HTML. And that's what will give me the text box. And there I can enter text, and I can see the text appear. But again, from here, I can't edit that. I still have to click Edit HTML in order to open it up, and then I can get that text box where I can edit and save. So that's a little bit different for those web page files. Any of the editing that you can do to make the titles more descriptive, or to add these description boxes, or to let students know what's required and what's recommended, is going to help students to know what they're supposed to do. It's going to help the navigation and organization of the content in your PantherLearn shell. The last trick I want to mention is if you click here on Table of Contents, such that at the very top here you have the table of contents, and as you scroll down you can see all of those modules: syllabus, start here, assignment details, discussions, and you can see the topics here without the descriptions under each of those modules. As you scroll down, you'll see all of those topics that we have added over the course of these videos. One of the best ways to organize your content and to communicate that organization to your students is frequent use of due dates. The easiest way to add due dates to all of your assignments at one time is through this bulk edit feature. So if you're at the level of the table of contents and then you click bulk edit, you get this message here that you're now in editing mode. What that does is it opens up for everything in content. For at the module level, it opens up the dates and restrictions and descriptions. And then even at the topic level, it opens up the ability to change the names and dates and restrictions. So you can go through your course and find all of your assignments and add due dates. You simply click Update after you've added the due date, and now that due date is there for students to see. And now I've got a quiz. So I went from a discussion now to a quiz where I'm going to add the same due date and click Update. And now I can see that due date for the quiz. And scroll down, I've got the assignment Essay 1. Can add that due date right here. And so now I've been able to go through all of my assignments in my course at one time and add those due dates. When I'm done, scroll all the way to the top and simply click Done Editing. That's just a really quick and easy way to get those due dates in your courses. If I go and look at, for instance now, the essay module, I can see that due date is still right there. This is particularly a benefit if you look at the student view. For students, they're going to see now that due date. And when they look at the course schedule and the full schedule, they're going to see all of those due dates right there. And that drives student success for them to see those due dates and know what's coming up. And the only way these due dates will populate here is by you adding them to your course. And you can do all of that through content. You don't have to go back and forth between discussions and quizzes and essays. You can just do it all right from content by using that bulk edit feature on the table of contents. So that's my number one trick for editing due dates for your classes. Stay tuned. In our final video, we're going to talk about how to move around the modules and the topics and delete modules and topics that maybe you decide you don't need. So stay tuned. Thanks.